Before Knock Knockin on Hooty's door, many speculated that the Collector was Amity, due to the pair of them wearing symbolism that's suspiciously close to one another. While this is confirmed not to be the case by virtue of the voice actors being different, the time frame not matching up, and of course huge differences in their behaviour, is there still a chance the Collector is a Blight? In this video, I'll be telling you why I think it's actually pretty likely. First though, please consider subscribing. I create weekly Owl House theories, and doing so not only ensures that you don't miss it, it also greatly supports the channel. If you decide that the channel isn't for you, you can always unsubscribe later. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon for some awesome perks. Now back to the video.
It's fine. Let's just keep going.
Okay.
Before we get into the newer pieces of evidence I found, let's go over the symbolism and whether or not it means anything. After destroying her mother's amulet, Amity now has a new one which bears the symbol of a crescent moon. Even before this, she started to wear shoes that bear the same symbol. As for the Collector, the crescent moon appears all over her cloak and, most intriguingly of all, over her face. While crescent moons certainly aren't too uncommon for this to merely be a coincidence, the fact that it's deliberately chosen to be the main motif for both of these characters is striking to say the least. Crescent moons aren't even the only thing they share either. The Collector's cloak is also decorated with the sun and other stars surrounding it, while Amity has been depicted wearing multiple outfits that incorporate stars in drawings by Dana Terrace herself on Twitter. So what does this imagery even mean? Personally, I believe it represents a powerful forgotten magic. Maybe wild magic, but not necessarily. King's ruins were covered in stars, suns and moons, just like the Collector's cloak as well. Now that we know he has his own crazy power that doesn't work in the same way as normal magic, I don't think that it's too far-fetched to suspect this. This magic's unconventional properties would explain how the Collector is able to turn beasts into scrolls, seeing as no magic from any coven would really cover this, and why conventional magic from the Healing Coven isn't enough to undo it. If this power is passed on from generation to generation, not only would that mean Amity is capable of using it, it might also mean that she's capable of reversing it. Eda and Lilith are going to likely want to be free of their curse at some point, and I think that the notion of Amity being able to do that because of her relation to the Collector gives some weight to the theory. Next, we need to talk about Alador. A huge connection that I believe many might have missed is that both the Collector and Alador have one huge element in common. They're both obsessed with beasts.
Like abominations?
Something like that.
Ever since he made his official debut, outside of his silhouetted appearance in Understanding Willow, it struck me as peculiar how he kept getting distracted by beasts, especially because he's in the Abomination Coven. It's made doubly weird when you consider that Alador isn't passionate about, well, anything. The Collector, on the other hand, is certainly obsessed with beasts, but on a more extreme, sinister level. Instead of simply admiring beasts, she's in the business of capturing them and turning them into curse scrolls. While some might have speculated that she only hunts them off to sell them to the market, I believe she'd actually keep them herself as some sort of trophy, hence being named the Collector. So here's my idea for what the connection could be. What if the Collector is the mother of Alador Blight? We know the time frame has to have been before Eda got cursed, so it's definitely not out of the question. And I'm actually pretty convinced Odalia married into the Blight family rather than vice versa. In Understanding Willow, it's Alador who makes the point that
Blights only associate with the strongest of witchlings.
while you wouldn't suspect him to care about status because of his laid-back demeanour, Dana did say in Hereditary May that there's more to Amity's parents than we may think, and that Alador in particular is interesting to write for. So why doesn't Alador use his mother's power himself, and why go with the Abomination track if he loves beasts so much? First of all, the Collector's magic most likely would have been forbidden under the Coven system. As for not going with the Beast track, he seems to genuinely love beasts and innocently observing them. If he morally objected to the Collector's ways, then it stands to reason that he would have done everything in his power to not let beasts anywhere near her. The connection could go even deeper when you consider what blight even means. A blight can be a plant disease or mean a severe detrimental effect. When you think about it, aren't her curse scrolls kind of a disease? Or at the very least a detrimental effect? Regardless of whether or not every curse she creates with other beasts drains magic or rapidly ages the victim, it still infects them with a transformation. And let's not forget, naming conventions in this show are pretty deliberate. For example, both Willow's forename and surname, Willow and Park, fit in line with her plant magic. While Blight could make sense for representing the detrimental effect the Blight parents have had on their children, I think something more literal such as this makes a lot more sense. Thanks to Valerie Castagno for pointing this out in my last video. So we've established that the Collector could definitely be a Blight, and if that is the case, then I believe that there's one more huge connection to bring up: Blight Industries. We know that Blight Industries is a family business, and that it utilizes both technology and magic to create weaponry.
You might want to duck.
But the question is, who founded it and why? I think it was the Collector, and I've got pretty good reason to believe so. Being a hunter, she obviously needs weapons for capturing beasts. What if she made weapons for herself, and for other hunters as well? We see her use both magic as well as a net while pursuing the owl beast, so starting a company that combines normal tools like rope with magic definitely doesn't seem like too much of a stretch. Not to mention, if she collects the beasts she captures and doesn't sell them, she's going to need some way to support her dark hobby. And that's about all I can gather for now.
Everything's solved! No more mysteries!
If any of you have more leads, definitely share them below in the comment section. Please leave the video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more weekly Owl House theories. Be sure to join my Discord, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to my Patreon. Links in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.